Hi everyone, my name is Tristan. I am a local real estate agent here in San Diego with our live setting here for home buyers and how to break through to purchase a home either 2020 or get yourself ready for 2021. There's a lot of things going on in the market, as we all know. And I wanted to just educate everybody on getting ready and what you guys need to do in order to be able to purchase a home this year. So one thing that has come up is if is now a good time to buy, especially with the coronavirus and us not being able to go out and see houses. One thing that is going on is that we as realtors are doing live video walkthroughs for our clients so that people can walk through the house and make sure that it is the house they want to buy. And we are allowed to schedule face-to-face and in-person showings just a little differently than we did before. The one thing people are requiring home sellers is that you are pre-approved and you are ready to go. So what does that take to be able to be pre-approved and ready to go? I'm going to be posting a PDF of how to buy a house and then a free bonus guide of how to improve your credit score. So lenders right now are taking loans. Anything that's under $710,000 is considered a government-backed loan, and those loans are going very well. Anything over that is a jumbo loan. So that is a little bit more challenging. Not that it's not doable, but the credit scores and things that you need to have in order to purchase are a little more stringent. This is a good thing because the government is making sure we do not have another housing recession and that only qualified people can purchase a home. So if we want to be ready to buy a house, a few of the things that I want to share with you today is how to get ready to purchase a home. So the first thing to do is go and pull your credit. You can go to Experian.com, which is one of the major credit sources and reporting systems, and download your free credit report today. And as you're starting to go through that, go through each of your balances. The goal is to get your credit utilization down under 20% and your debt to income ratio higher. So if you have an income ratio of 75,000, you need your debt ratio to be below 20% on that to qualify for a great house with any lender right now. Additionally, if you have good credit or credit utilization under 20%, we're looking for loans, credit scores over 700,000 right now in order to qualify for homes and lending right now. So if you go and you pull it and you're still under 700, but you have good debt, good income, and not a ton of other debt, not a ton of cars or back taxes, then you can still qualify with particular lenders on FHA and VA. FHA is a government-backed loan. It only requires 3.5% down. And if you're military, there's a no down payment loan for you. And those can be as low credit score as 620 or 630. So number one, start with pulling your credit report. Number two, calculate your balances and make sure your credit utilization is under 20% for each line of credit that you have. Number three is notice any dings on your credit and reach out to those cards and see if they're willing to work with you to remove that from your credit. And that will dramatically bring your credit score up higher. The next thing to do is to then start to begin the pre-qualification process. That is going to be with a lender, and I'm always happy to help you get that information to you. And then really starting to ask yourself, why do you want to buy a house? It's definitely, right now, we're still seeing fairly high prices, a lack of inventory, and we think that's going to change in the next 4 months once the quarantine is over and more people put their homes on the market. But as a real estate professional who has helped hundreds of people purchase a home, it's really important to understand why you want to buy a house and clearly communicate that to your real estate professional so that they understand what you're looking for. It's way more than 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. What do you like doing in the house? How do you see yourself living in this house? Do you want a remodeled house? Do you have some money to remodel a house? So those are really important questions to get very, very clear about. And I suggest writing down your top 5 why statements if you want to become a homeowner. One of the number one things is paying rent is essentially just paying somebody else's mortgage. So if you can get to the point where you're paying your own mortgage, you are investing in your future, of course. And we look at that as a rent versus own, right? So if you are looking at renting, it's very flexible. It's fairly easy to find a rental and qualify for it, but it's not any building for your future. You're literally paying somebody else's mortgage when in fact you could be paying your own. So really coming back to your why, that's so important, and making this roadmap of how to purchase. So we're pulling our credit, we're doing some credit work on our own, again, getting credit utilization down to 20%, and we're trying to reach out to any dings we've had, any late payments, any closed cards, anything that you can get off of your credit, okay? Then we're writing down our why, like why we want to buy a house. And I really want you to visualize this home and how you would feel when you have your own home. Once you do that, then you schedule an online virtual Zoom call with me or with a realtor that you know, and we walk you through that why, and we begin to understand. Do you need to be near schools? Do you have children? Do you have pets? All of these things that come into factor when you're looking for a home. From that point, we will set you up on a customized search. This search is not only, it's direct from the MLS, but there's tons of information. It's a password protected, exclusive search site that you get access to, that you and your realtor can communicate with about the homes that you're seeing that you are interested in. From that point, then we schedule a live video walkthrough. So a Zoom call where I walk through the home and also send you a high definition 360-degree tour of this home. At that point, then we can also schedule a one-on-one call, walkthrough together. So what does it cost really to buy a home? Well, a lot of that depends on your credit. Having a high credit score means that you will get better interest rates, which the interest rates are still really low. I think they were at 3.5 last week when I checked. Your down payment. So down payment can be anywhere from 3.5% for FHA all the way up to 20% or more. Obviously, the more money you put down, the less money you're going to pay every month in your mortgage. So there's a couple of different ways to do about that. If you have no money to put down, there are a lot of down payment assistance programs. They're pretty simple. They require you to take an online class for about 4 hours, and you do need to qualify within an income maximum for that household. So if you want more information about that, post below and I will get that to you as soon as possible. And the other thing to think about is earnest money and closing costs. So when you buy a home, there are costs associated with purchasing the home. You will be paying not only for your down payment, but also for your title, your escrow, and some other fees that go into purchasing a home. We call that our closing costs. And estimate about 2% of that of the price of the home to be the closing costs that you will be paying. However, don't get scared because there's many ways we can write it into the offer that you don't actually pay it and the seller will help you pay it for yourselves. Finally, the one cost that is really important is a home inspection. That's usually around $450. And this helps you kick the tires to make sure this is the house for you and find out if there's anything wrong with this house. The state of California is really great. We have a lot of ways that buyers can explore if the house is the right one. And if it's not, cancel and walk away and not lose any money at all. So I think that's a misconception a lot of people have, is that we are committed and I'm not ready. But really, you have many ways out of buying a house, okay? So when you're thinking about getting pre-approved, the couple of things that really you need to think about is, do you have a steady income? Preferably at the same employment for 2 years, low to medium debt, some cash to put down for a house or qualify for down payment assistance. 2 months of pay stubs and bank statements, and 2 years or more with the same company. The lender's going to require a couple of these things to help them determine if you qualify for this loan. If for some reason you don't, then we have lots of ways to help you get repaired credit quickly that we will help you do, okay? So that's pretty much buying a home in a nutshell. And I think really the only thing that has really changed is how we're showing houses. And it used to be that you could just go to an open house and start to look in an area, and we no longer can really do that. I highly recommend driving around, finding the area, but it's more important than ever to find a real estate professional that is using cutting edge technology to walk you through a house, to walk you through this new process, to make sure you're protected and really ready to buy. On average, what I find is from the first moment somebody decides they're going to buy a house till the time they actually move in that house can be almost a year. And that's great. And having somebody that's going to be with you every step of the way is super important to do. Then other thing I want to share with you guys is how to improve your credit, or some mistakes. Let's go with common mistakes, okay? One of the most common mistakes that I see home buyers make is honestly not being flexible about the house. So there's no perfect house out there, but the house has a feeling. When you walk into the house and you have a feeling like this is a great house, you will start to get that feeling for that house. But it's never going to be perfect. The layout's never going to be perfect. The paint's not going to be perfect. You need to come in and make it your own house. So through the process of looking at homes, you really get the opportunity to decide what is a deal breaker for you and what is not a deal breaker for you. What can I live with, and what is this is not okay. So one thing for me, I don't like loud streets. That doesn't bother other people at all. So it may, finding out what you really tolerate and what you really want in your first house is really important. And being able to have somebody that listens to you about that is also important. Neighborhoods here in San Diego vary so greatly. So really depending on the price you are, where you work, how long you're willing to drive, although right now it's pretty easy to get everywhere, is another thing. One of the other things too is looking to the listing agent to represent you. That's a big mistake I see a lot of buyers make. Technically, as a listing agent myself, we can do that. However, we already have signed with the seller. So our fiduciary duty, our responsibility is to protect that seller. And then you're kind of second. Yes, you may get a better deal, but in the long run of a legal transaction that you're going into, really having your representation is so important. And please remember, a buyer's agent is usually paid for by the seller, so it's no cost to you whatsoever to be purchasing a home with an agent of your own, okay? Let's see, another mistake I often see is, listing agent, sorry, I'm just kind of double checking my notes here. And I just covered that, is sometimes not going through the home inspection or not wanting to get the home inspection, maybe because it's, an expensive cost, but it is so important to find out what's really going on with that house before you finally sign the documents and move in. So there's a lot of steps to it. Doesn't seem like it right now, but I would say, again, on average, my home buyers take a while to get pre-approved, and then find the right house. So take your time. There's no rush for you. As far as the current market goes, the rates are so good. You could save like $1,000 a month between a 3.5% rate and a 4.5% rate. However, if you can't find a house to purchase, that's another problem. So we do still have a lack of inventory, and I am still seeing multiple offers come in on homes, and homes moving very quickly, especially remodeled homes. So it's very important that when you are really serious and you are really starting to look, that you are completely prepared and ready with your pre-approval. You know what it's going to cost you every month, and you're comfortable with that. And you know that you're ready to purchase this house, so you can act quickly and make sure that you get that house. That's really what my job is to secure a home for my buyers at the very best price, the one they love, and beat out all the other offers. So that's all I have for today. Super short and sweet. I'm going to repost this. I'm also going to send out some links for the buyer guide and a free guide on how to improve your credit score quickly. I really thank you guys for watching. I'll send you the link also to search for homes with me and ask me any questions. I'm always available to answer. There's never any obligation at all in order to be just connecting and talking. I'm really honestly here to help, and I thank you so much for tuning in. Please post your questions here and I will get you answers ASAP. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe. Thanks again.